So, this will be my first entry on watercolor. First video on watercolor. Nag-lipstick pa ako para dito. Nakita niyo ba? Thank you sa Maybelline crayon. So, anyway, again, this will be my first video on watercolor since ang previous video ko is about alcohol inks. Ang original medium ko talagang ginagamit is watercolor. So, here, I'm going to tackle one of the most important thing na kailangan malaman ng mga beginners sa watercolor, which is stretching your paper. So, stretching your paper. It is very important na malaman kung paano mag-stretch ng watercolor because number one, we're dealing with water. And number two, ang gamit nating paper is cotton. So, ang nangyayari kapag binabasa ang cotton is nag-expand siya. When your paper expands, nagkakaroon siya ng mga parang buckle dun sa paper mo kapag hindi mo siya na-stretch. So, magkakaroon siya ng mga buckles and even surface. Then, it would be difficult for you to paint dun sa paper na yun kasi it will create mga pulling ng pigments kapag hindi even yung surface. So, importance of stretching, number one, is to prevent buckling. Kapag walang buckle, kapag hindi masyadong nagkakaroon ng uneven surface yung paper mo, syempre, it will create a pleasant painting experience for you as a watercolorist. Before, I have no idea talaga kung ano yung stretching. Kailangan pa palang i-stretch yung paper, no? Nalaman ko lang na kailangan i-stretch yung paper kay Sir Jonah. Ayan. So, dalawang mentor ko sa watercolor, si Sir Jonah at saka si Tatay Jen. Ayan, yung mga nagturo sa akin sa watercolor, sabi nila, kailangan mong stretch yan kapag gumagamit ka ng watercolor kasi masisira yung painting mo or mahihirapan kang mag-paint, ma-achieve yung look na gusto mo kapag hindi even yung surface na ginagamit ko. That day forward, nung tinuruan nila ako mag-stretch ng paper, lagi ko na ginagawa sa lahat ng artworks ko. So, typically, this is for lightweight papers, yan, 185 GSM at saka 300 GSM. So, I have tried sa 300 GSM. I thought hindi siya magbabakel kasi medyo makapal na siya from the first one that I'm using, which is 185. Nagbakal pa rin siya. So, you still need to stretch that, especially if you're doing a lot of wet-on-wet technique and a lot of water dun sa works ninyo. For 600 GSM paper naman, I haven't tried it yet. Pero sabi nila hindi mo na daw kailangan i-stretch. So, pag na-try ko, I'm going to update you here na lang. So, in this video, I am going to show you two things. Number one is yung stretching and number two, how I cut my paper to achieve this look. Ayan, parang rugged pa rin siya. This is arches, by the way. So, if you want to maintain yung natural look ng edges ng arches nyo, full sheet ng arches, ganito kasi yung edges niya. Ito yung original edge niya. So, kung makikita nyo, medyo rugged siya. So, if you want to maintain sa lahat ng edges nyo is ganon, medyo rugged, I'm going to show you here sa video na to. So, typically, I use cutter dun sa pagka-cut ng papers ko. Pero for the sake of this video, para magkaroon naman kayo ng ibang idea or ibang way na pagka-cut ng paper nyo, I'm going to show it to you din dito sa video na to. So, I hope this will help you a lot in your starting journey sa watercolor if you're a beginner. So, please stay tuned and watch this video. Here, I am using a full sheet of arches. Yan, tinutupi ko muna siya. And I'm using an envelope opener / ruler sa pagka-cut and pagka-create ng fold. I'm folding it on both sides, again and again, paulit-ulit hanggang magkaroon ako ng crisp na guideline kung saan ko i-cut yung paper ko. So, as you see, medyo nahihirapan akong i-cut. So, I'm doing it over again, flattening the edge ng paper para it would be easier to cut later. So, you can also use water para mas mabilis yung cutting process nyo, no? Para mas malambot siya. So, here I am using a brush para yung edge lang talaga yung mabasa. If you think that your paper is already moist, you can start now with cutting your paper. Dito, I'm just doing the same process over again. Folding my paper using the envelope opener and wetting the edges. Kailangan ko kasi ng ganitong size ng paper, so I'm cutting it again. So, after that, you can start na soaking your paper sa water. So, dito, ang gamit ko lang is a typical basin na panlaba na nilagyan ko ng tubig. Sino ko na yung paper ko. This is, by the way, 185 GSM, no? So, for that kind of paper, at least mga 3 to 5 minutes yung soaking time natin. Pero if you're using a heavier weight na paper like 300 GSM, you can soak it for at least mga 10 to 12 minutes. After that, if you think your paper is wet enough, i-place nyo na siya sa artboard nyo. And you can use your hands to remove yung mga air pockets na nag-accumulate sa ilalim ng paper natin. Pero make sure that your hands is clean kasi meron mga oils sa kamay natin that can transfer to the paper. Otherwise, you can also use a brush. At if you think flat enough na, start stapling your paper sa artboard. So, sa edges lang natin gagawin, no? You can just leave your paper to dry and then after drying, you can use it na. So, that's the way on how I stretch my paper and how I cut my paper to achieve the rugged look. Yan. Nakita nyo, binabasa ko muna siya, no? And I'm using this kind of envelope opener from, ano pa to? From Sun Life Financial. Merong advertisement. So, envelope paper, at saka winewet ko siya para mas mabilis siyang i-cut. Para magkaroon kayo ng ibang idea kung paano i-cut yung paper, yun yung gamitin nyo. Or if you want naman, para mas mabilis, gamitan lang kayo ng cutter, which I usually do. Kung maka-cutter na lang ako, no? Yun na lang yung ginagamit ko. So, for the stretching naman ng paper, I use this, just a typical and basic stapler para mag-hold dun sa paper flat. Kasi kapag nag-dry yun, mag-shrink yun eh. So, you have to have something na mag-prevent dun sa shrinking. Kaya nga ini-stretch natin. So, isa to, stapler sa mga ginagamit ko. Before, I've also tried yung gum tape yung binabasa. Pero, hindi ako masyadong comfortable na gamitin yun eh. So, dito talaga ako lumaki sa stapler. And then, for me to achieve a clean border, para magkaroon ng clean border or crisp na border, I use yung artist tape, yung kulay puti, which I got from Art Nebula. I'm sure meron din sa ibang art shops. Pakita ko na lang dito kung ano yung tinutukoy ko na tapes. Ayan. I use artist tapes and, syempre ito, artboard. Isang malaking artboard para mag-hold dun sa paper natin. So, ito na yung finished product. Nakita niya, naka-stapler siya. Tapos, merong part na dito na makikita niya parang bumabalik siya or nag-shrink na siya eh. So, yun yung use nung stapler natin para mapigilan yung pagbalik niya or pag-shrink niya. Para kapag binasa mo ulit siya, hindi siya magbabakal or hindi na siya mag-e-expand kasi expanded na siya. Ayan. Yun yung purpose ng stretching. So, I hope you learned something today in this video, no? Effort ako dito sa video na to. Kasi I'm not in a good mood. Pero for the sake of teaching, especially yung mga bago pa lang sa watercolor, like me before, noong 2015, no? Wala naman kasi masyadong, or wala ako masyadong nakakausap before sa watercolor nun, especially nung wala pa akong mga groups na sinasalihan. So, I hope this video helps para sa inyo. And remember to like and subscribe sa page ko, sa channel ko. And I hope to see you in my next videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.